Hi. In my last post, which was really about rattlesnakes and grizzly bears, um, I talked about some encounters that were very powerful, but which, on the whole, people would like to avoid. So I also want to speak about encounters that have been very rich. And certainly, as someone who's led Vision Quest for almost 4 decades, I've had a lot of those encounters myself, and I've spoken about those encounters. And today I really want to speak about medicine animals. And so, but this is part of a larger topic because on Vision Quest, we can also get medicine names, we can get medicine songs, and sometimes we get connected with medicine animals. So I just want to first start with a little background that in terms of that word medicine and what it really means. In English, the word for health comes from an old English word, which is hale, and hale means to be whole. So, in any larger traditional sense, medicine is anything that helps you to become whole or, or moves you closer to a sense of your wholeness. So our contemporary view of medicine is really limited, and it usually refers to a surgical procedure or some kind of drug. But wholeness can mean or be brought to you by many different things. And as I said, it's anything that brings you or helps you on that journey to wholeness can be considered medicine. And in the final analysis, becoming whole involves realizing your connection and relationship with your larger self. And this can include many dimensions of reality: physical, emotional, or spiritual. And so, in this great and broader definition, medicine could be a substance, whether comfrey, Tylenol, psilocybin mushrooms, or holy water, if any of those elements bring you more into balance or usher in a larger experience and awareness of your being. But medicine could just as well be a story if it teaches you something that supports your growth and makes you more well-rounded or complete. It could be a parable, a meaning, a name, or a song. So any of these could be medicine. Now, specifically, medicine animals. Um, Certainly, encounters with animals can contain medicine if they teach or guide you to a greater sense of all that you are. And many people receive medicine from these encounters, especially on a vision quest when you're in nature and you're alone and fasting and you're in that physical world where animals are present and part of your intense and intimate life. So I'll just give an example. Suppose you're on a vision quest and you're tired. Maybe it's your second day and the effects of the fast are affecting you. And on that second day, you really feel that tiredness, and your mind kind of wanders into some swamps of self-pity, thinking, oh my God, I'm exhausted. I have no energy. Why did I decide to do this? At that moment, a swallow-tailed butterfly appears and it lands on your boot. And it rests there for a minute, its wings opening and closing. Your chatter stops as you're fascinated by its colors, its beauty, its delicacy, and strength. Eventually, it takes flight again and dances across the meadow. You watch until it disappears, shaking your head in surprise and delight. You have just received medicine, an infusion of light, joyfulness, and wonder that washed away the doldrums and the feeling of feeling depressed and sorry for yourself. That was medicine. And people on Vision Quest often have really significant encounters with animals. And medicine can come in many forms. It can come as an emotional lift, like in the butterfly example above. It can also appear as insight, arising out of some observational process, as perhaps you're sitting next to an anthill and watching those hundreds of ants teach you about your connection to community. Or a hawk could provide guidance. Its call showing you the path at each junction where you wonder which way to go and which way to turn. Sometimes encounters with an animal on a vision quest are repeated often, or the meeting may be so striking you can't ignore it. And this can lead to the question, is this my spirit guide or my power animal? At times, I have been charged by bears, had birds land on my chest, and stared into the face of a raccoon, our noses 2 inches apart. Once, on top of a high, flat-top butte in New Mexico, I smudged and entered my purpose circle, which is a circle of stones I intended to stay awake all night within. As soon as I placed myself in the center and sat down, a ringtail, which is a weasel-like creature, sometimes they're called ring-tailed cats, but they're more in the raccoon family, but they're a weasel-like creature with a long striped tail, just came up the butte, walked over to my circle, and watched me for several minutes while walking the perimeter 4 times around the circle without entering. Something like that you really can't ignore. So I personally welcome all medicine encounters. But in doing this, and I've been doing it for years, I make a distinction between receiving medicine from an animal and a quote unquote medicine animal. I think of this as like the difference between having a great connection with someone you met at a party and making a commitment to a relationship with a partner. We may have numerous, highly positive interactions with people, but committed relationships are far, far fewer. Repetitive or particularly intense encounters with an animal on a vision quest may invite you to question if this could be an ally or a guide for you. If so, you can follow it further, investing attention and energy in developing a real relationships with the spirit of the animal that's in question. So, I've been part of this world. I've been part of it for a long time. And I want to say on Vision Quest, these wonderful encounters with animals happen. And I would encourage you, whether they happen on a vision quest or they happen in your life, to pay attention. And this may bring you in contact with the spirit of an animal or a power animal. I've had people say come back and tell the story on Vision Quest of, every time they woke up in the morning, they sat up and a hummingbird came right in front of their face for several seconds and flew off. And that happened every day. So in that instance, I really would encourage you to pursue that. And there are ways to, if you have these powerful encounters, there are ways to develop that relationship. And I've taught many of these ways over the years. Okay, I'm going to close that for now. And in a couple days, I'll also do a post on medicine names, medicine songs, and I plan also to do a post of a description of some of those extraordinary encounters that have happened to me and that I've been blessed with on Vision Quests and went out in the wild. Thank you, and have a great day. Oh.